and welcome back to week 11 of Wasted Local Fantasy Football.
Well, technically it's week 12.
Well, it was week 11 for the footballs, so
It was.
So it's going to be our week 11, but 12. You know what, Ryan? Stop being smarter than me, all right?
I will never.
You're not wrong there. But anyway, welcome back. We appreciate you guys returning yet again. Daniel is on a long Thanksgiving journey back to his home state of West Virginia, so I have agreed to take the reins on this one yet again. And Ryan was a great co-host last time, always a great co-host, and I appreciate you joining me yet again, good sir.
Of course. Thanks for having me. I like talking foosball.
Well, it was a week of ups and downs, a week of close games, a week of some not so close games, and some.
It was a week of something. Let me tell you what.
So I've never been in a league before where it's been so close with so many different teams, because like there's like the top couple teams and then everyone else is like right there sandwiched. And this week really didn't break anyone away from the pack either. It's still anyone's game. So there may be some finagling we could do to like look at like the in-depth matchups and to see who potentially would be eliminated. But as of this moment, according to what I'm seeing, Josh is still the only one that's statistically eliminated.
That's what I was going to say. I'm pretty sure Josh is the only one who's like legit out right now.
So we'll get into, not to give anything away, so we'll get into the matchups this week. We're just going to go down the, as I have them on here. We'll start with mine and Daniel's game, because it's the top of my list. So I went into this week facing Daniel, and the projections were slightly tilted in Daniel's favor, but only by like a point. Daniel, let's just say this. Daniel had Joe Burrow as a starting quarterback, and Joe Burrow went out early in the game with a modest 11 points at QB. And I got to say, when that happened, as much as I didn't like to see Joe Burrow get hurt because, you know, he's just getting into his fantasy groove and real groove, like his rookie year. And he was out for the rest of the year. So that was a big oof on Daniel, big oof on his team. And honestly, I would say that probably influenced the outcome of this game.
I mean, you both had kind of big oofs with your quarterbacks this week.
Yeah, but my big oof is just that I played Matt Ryan. He just did really freaking bad. 2 interceptions.
I mean, your other option was Tua, and he only got 7.3 points. So either way...
Yeah, Matt Ryan got me 5 points. So kind of the rundown here. Daniel had, a great showing with his, running back core. Dalvin Cook getting him 22 points. Aaron Jones with 15. Daniel had a 0 on his team with the tight end with Hayden Hurst. However, again, Hayden Hurst playing for Atlanta. Atlanta had a really bad showing. Julio Jones only had 4.5 points for me. Matt Ryan only had 5.5 points. So it was just a really dismal showing by everyone. I had Todd Gurley on my bench, and he got me 3 points. Thank goodness I opted for that. Saints defense showed up clutch and stopped them, so that didn't do me or Daniel any favors. And Daniel had his wide receiver core get him decent points. They underscored their projections for the most part. With 12 and 13 points, and my wide receivers were able to balance those out because Keenan Allen came in clutch at 27 points. And both of our defenses did great, a 10 and a 13 showing. So all in all, if Joe Burrow had not have went out injured, I am confident Daniel would have won this.
Yeah, I agree. Even with Hayden Hurst getting 0 points, if Joe Burrow hadn't got injured, Daniel would have swept this one.
Yep. But because he did, I took the lead and came out victorious, 106.78 to 97.02. A win that Daniel didn't. I don't want to say Daniel. He obviously needed the win to secure his spot, but now he is in the top of the runners because he's now back into that grouped into that position with everyone else who's fighting for that spot. But he's at the top of that because he has more points than most of everyone else. So Daniel really needs the next couple games to come in for him with that loss, and with the win, I have secured a playoff spot.
There you go. I will say Daniel has the opportunity here to definitely come back and secure a spot, because looking at his bench, I feel like he played a couple wrong players this week. Obviously, he's got his New Orleans defense got 17 points on his bench. And then Tom Brady is just always kind of up in the air. Like, it would have helped him either way on quarterback, because Tom Brady only got 12.6 points.
Yeah.
But Jonnu Smith got 10 points at tight end. So it's
I'm not sure what the play was there. I would have played Jonnu Smith any day over Hayden Hurst. Hayden Hurst just hasn't had a strong showing this year. So I'm not sure.
Yeah, Daniel's got opportunities. He just has to play them right.
Yeah, and he played the matchups a little too strongly, I think. Like, he played the Chargers against the Jets, which was a great start throughout the entire game. But once the Chargers started to pull away, as the Chargers typically do, they start to lose in the end game, and they put up almost 28 points on them, forcing Daniel's defense down to only 10 points. And keep in mind, that's 10 points, including a pick six. So that allowed them, right at the beginning of the game, they had an interception, or they fumbled the ball or something like that. And then at the next play, Joe Flacco with the Jets on like the 5-yard line, on their 5-yard line, threw the ball. It was intercepted and walked in for a touchdown. So like that got Daniel 6-7 points right there, Mm-hmm. So interception plus a touchdown, that's actually 8 points for the defense. So not a strong showing by his defense other than that, but he should have stuck with the Saints defense, because that would have also won him the game had he played the Saints defense.
Because that would have put him just barely over top of you.
Yep. So anyway, that was that game. Solid performance. I was disappointed in my team, because if I struggle right there at that like 90 to 110 mark for my team, and in the beginning I was scoring 130 to 150. So it's just because I always struggle at quarterback. Always my struggles.
I feel like a lot of us are struggling with quarterback right now. I mean, Daniel, obviously, Joe Burrow's out, injured, and he's got Tom Brady as his backup, and Tom Brady, again, like I said, is unreliable at some times.
Yeah.
You're struggling quarterback. I'm struggling with quarterback because Drew Brees went out last week, and I traded you for Roethlisberger, and I mean, he did fine for me. I'm not complaining about Roethlisberger, but he's now my only quarterback I've got.
Well, we got 2 weeks left, and they're going to keep being strong. I think Steelers are going to keep being pretty good. So I think it's a pretty good end of the year run for you. So.
It is. I'm pretty positive, though. I'm not making playoffs. I'm just, at this point, like I said last time I was on, I'm pretty sure I'm just making the best I can for the consolation bracket right now.
Hey, consolation bracket, no joke. First round draft picks are big. So, all right. So there's that game. Me over Daniel. Suck at Daniel. And the only reason I'm saying suck at Daniel is I'm not trying to brag, but I've told Daniel 3 weeks in a row he's bet against me during the predictions.
He really has. He's picked opposite of you every time.
And I have won every game that he has not picked me. So get wrecked, Daniel. Continue to pick me so I continue to win. So pick against me so I continue to win. So we will jump down the line here. This one, no one's really all that surprised about. We had J.A. Jacobs, Jingleheimer, Schmidt, Nathan versus Not Stoked, a.k.a. Big Booty Cheeks, Josh.
There's been a few name changes.
Yes, there has. That one by far was my favorite one, though, because if you know Josh, like we talked about last week, I could just hear him saying that. Like I saw it.
Yeah, I know.
I saw it and I laughed. It was so good. So just as we all predicted, everyone came out and just had it wasn't even close, and everyone knew it was gonna be like this. Josh was scraping the bottom of the waivers because Joe Mixon got put on IR, which means he is done for the fantasy year, which is a big oof. That was, Josh's first round draft pick being Lamar Jackson and his second pick being Joe Mixon. Just an absolute crapshoot for him. And honestly, that's probably what lost him the year, because Lamar Jackson last year was putting up 30 to 40 points a game. And this year, he's scraping the barrel at anywhere from like 12 to 25. So welcome to the QB struggles with your first round draft pick. That totally sucks.
Why did I not realize till just now that Josh drafted Lamar Jackson first round?
I mean, to be fair, though, if I knew this would be the case, everyone had a full year footage on him being really, really good, so he wasn't going to be as good. Defenses were going to know how to play that. But statistically, he was up there to be taken in the first 15 or 20.
Yeah.
Because he was a running QB. He had tons of rushing touchdowns. His passing game was, weak, but you get less points for passing than you do for rushing anyway. So, I mean, statistically speaking,
it's a fair pick. Yeah, I don't know why I was even at the draft watching the draft, and I didn't realize he picked a quarterback for his first round draft pick.
Yeah,
I guess
it wasn't smart.
My education of football though has drastically improved over the season.
I said that, didn't I? I said fantasy changes what you know about football. But yeah, so Josh's team just, he has his running back core is J.D. McKissick and Salvin Ahmed, the backup running back for Miami. So, I mean, it's just not a great showing. Juju Smith-Schuster actually got a little banged up during the game, so he sat a little bit. But even while he was out there, he didn't have a fantastic showing. But they didn't need it, They stuck to the run game because they were up 27-3 on Jacksonville. So that hurt him. Tight ends, tough this year, 1 point for Josh. And the rest of his team, literally his second highest scoring player was his kicker, I was
going to say his kicker did really well for him.
Yeah, so 14 points. But if you look on the opposite side now, Nathan's kicker, the best kicker in the league, got him -1 points, which is oof for Matt Prater.
Big oof.
Matt Prater getting -1 points is almost unheard of, but they got their dicks kicked in by Carolina, 20-0. So that sucks for Nathan. But Tampa Bay Buccaneers lost, and he got 1 point from that defense. Aaron Rodgers, strong showing of 21 points, considering they were playing the Indiana defense, the best defense in the league. And we also had Ezekiel Elliott, who came back. Nathan, this is his first week with the trade with Ezekiel Elliott and Michael Thomas. And both of them came in clutch with a combined total of 33 points between the two, which is more than any one of those players had done for me in the last 6 weeks in fantasy. So it was just a good week for Nathan's team to play Josh, because all in all, he would have lost to a lot of the league had he played them. So Nathan takes it, a much needed win to stay in playoff contention, 104.1 to 74.04. Josh being pushed again, officially eliminated from playoff contention. And at this point, I do believe he is officially eliminated from consolation bracket winning as well.
He's out just completely.
So he will still play somebody, but they will not they will not. There are 2 teams that will play. There'll be 4 teams in the playoffs, 4 teams that will compete for consolation bracket, and then 2 teams that will play just because, they're involved.
Yeah.
Participation trophy. So again, that pushes Nathan up into the upper end of the still fighting category. So let's move on to your game. All right. So moving into this week, I'm sure many of you saw, if you follow us on Facebook, there were high hopes for the mayor of TD City, Ryan himself, to clutch this victory against Roger. If there was ever needed to be a win, it was this one that you needed to stay relevant. And you're not out yet, but your hope is dwindling. And you have the toughest schedule, I think, of the closeout year.
Oh yeah, because I play. Who do I play next week?
I think you said Josiah potentially.
I play Nathan next week. Then I end my season with Brittany.
Yeah, so you're playing the top 2 of the top tier players or teams, and then also one of the more tough opponents left.
Who's still fighting, yeah.
So it's not looking good for you, but again, you're not out. You just need the right things to happen. But
exactly.
In this showing, unfortunately, we all banded together. We all made a motivational video, which if you've not seen the video, go on the Wasted Local Talent Facebook. It's posted there saying that we all have hopes for Ryan or something like that. And
it was hella motivational, I'll give you that. And I will tell you, it worked up until, late Sunday night.
It did. So this is what killed him. We went into the game. They were relatively tied up, and you still had Ronald Jones to play, and there was someone else you had to play too Sunday night, and then the Monday night game. However, the Sunday night game is what really killed you because Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill both scored over 20 points, and that pretty much sealed your fate. And unfortunately, even with a good showing from Devontae Adams, in a really good showing from Kalen Ballage for being a last minute backup pickup, 10 points, like it was just a good run. But the Miami defense killed you with -1 points. That should have been like a 10-point play. So that would have pushed you up to 98 if Randy Bullock scored.
Randy Bullock, he missed 2 of his field goal attempts and missed 1 of the extra point attempts. I mean, what the fuck?
Yeah, if Marvin Jones Jr. would have done his normal, and there's really no one on the bench you could have, if you would have played Jonathan Taylor instead of Ronald Jones, that would have put you up another 11 points. But
that still wouldn't have done it for me.
Yeah, there wasn't anything you could have done to win this game with the players you had and the performances they had. However, I mean, it still would have been nice to have those points. Every point's going to matter at this point if you can win out. So
exactly. I will say Dallas Goedert did pretty well for me. He got me 16 points, so he's coming back in and coming back strong after being out for so long.
Yeah, like I said, every point counts. So,
and then of course I chose Jones over Fournette. Fournette got 9 points on my bench, and then Butker got 5. I should have played him over Bullock, but again, even playing those players, if I'd switched out Ronald Jones for Jonathan Taylor and put in Butker over Bullock, it still wouldn't have done enough to get me to beat Roger because Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce really, they sealed my fate there. They came out strong, and because, after Thursday night's game with Arizona and Seattle, Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins only had a combined, what is that, 27 points?
Mm-hmm.
So I had a solid chance going into Sunday night's games.
Oh, yeah. And even in the 1 o'clock games with Alvin Kamara and James Robinson only combining to get 20 points, it was written in the stars for you to win this game. And then you must have done something to piss off the fantasy gods because they just pooed all over you the rest of the week. So, but nonetheless, Roger emerged victorious at 123.12 to 89.08. Putting Roger at 10-1 and pushing Ryan down to 4-7. You hate to see it. You really do.
You do hate to see it. And mostly just because it's Roger. If I was losing anyone else in the league, it'd be like, you know what, it's okay.
Yeah.
Other than maybe Daniel.
Yeah.
But
and honestly, though, every single person, everyone else needed you to lose this game. As much as everyone wanted you to win, everyone needed you to lose because it hurts them more to have you at the same level than they are than Roger, who's already sealed his fate, just getting another tick. It doesn't matter at all. So jumping on over to another matchup everyone is going to be watching pretty closely. I'm a Librarian Bonner versus Unsolicited Chubb Picks. So we all were kind of hoping that Brittany would pull off this win here. And Josiah needed this win to stay relevant. Josiah scraping the barrel with Cam Newton off of waivers. He had a strong showing, Josiah with Cam Newton 19.2. Derrick Henry finally bounced back with almost 20 points. Josiah doing a little bit of a hefty cheating situation. A lot of people did not like this. Starting Taysom Hill, even though it was a QB in the tight end spot. At 24.42 points, a little bit of controversy there. Strong wide receiver core showing with Deontay Johnson, Justin Jefferson, and Nick Chubb, and the Steelers defense coming in at 16 points. And so Josiah just had a solid week. However, Brittany's team, McCaffrey still being out with that shoulder injury, Chris Carson still being out with his foot. I mean, I don't know if it's foot. Actually, it might be ankle. But Bills defense on a bye. John Brown on a bye. Higgins had a rough week just because Joe Burrow was out. So any wide receiver there is going to struggle. And Wayne Gallman, who's been great for her, on a bye. She just didn't have the people to play. She literally went to the waivers and scraped up 3 players to get to play.
Yeah, I was going to say, her bench got her a combined 8 points. So really it wouldn't have made much of a difference.
Yeah, it was just a dismal showing, unfortunately, because she picked up Adrian Peterson and Malcolm Brown to fill those spots, and they got her combined 5 points, and that's a big oof. So
Yeah.
it was a tough loss, and unfortunately, Josiah jumped ahead 141.52 to 91.22. But if you're going to lose, you might as well lose to someone who scored 150 points. So
Josiah had a good week.
It would have been really tough. However, like I said, if she had McCaffrey and Carson coming in doing normal showings at 25 points apiece, right there, boom, she would have won. That would have put her up there at the same amount of points that Josiah had. So it was tough. It was tough. So you hate to see that, but Josiah again stays right there in that 5 and 6 range. So plugging on ahead. All right, now game of the week as far as closeness goes here. And this was was another tough one. 2 teams going in here with the same record of 4 and 6. This was Poppet and Lockett Linden versus the Fresh Prince of Hell-Air Bruce. This was right down to the wire, right down to the Monday night game. We were watching this one pretty closely. Again, like I just said, tied, still in the running for playoff contention. Both of these guys, even after this game, but one of them is slightly up on the other one. Linden made a risky play. Deshaun Watson has been kicking his butt all year long with either good showings on the bench or shit showings on the field. Like just a bad bet. Linden is going to win regardless. He's going to win worst fantasy manager. And the way we determine that worst fantasy manager is most points on the bench all year.
On the bench. So, yeah, and that's definitely Linden because he's had some horrible benches this game. This season. He has.
It's been a running theme for him. It's just every week he's always just slamming in the Discord. I played the wrong fucking person, you know. But what can we say, though? Deshaun Watson outplayed his projections on the field at 31 points. Balancing out some waiver wire pickups of Damian Harris and Kareem Hunt, his running back core only getting him a combined 20 points. But Tyler Lockett, Chase Claypool came in clutch for a total of 30. Noah Fant getting a modest 7.5 for a tight end. Pretty good. Will Fuller getting him 11. The Rams defense showing up clutch against a strong offense, 7 points. And the kicker getting him 10. That's a solid play.
You can't be mad at that.
Yeah, other than maybe playing Robert Woods in the flex spot, would have improved him.
I don't know what choice I would have made there either.
Yeah, I mean, because Will Fuller is clearly like the go-to person on that offense now, and so I mean, it is what it is. You know, it was always going to be one or the other. You're not. It could have went either way. You know,
it could have. Yeah.
But jumping over on the other side of the aisle. Russell Wilson not performing up to his normal standard. You know, the last couple of weeks he's averaging that last week he got 8, and that's what caused me to win that for him.
He did really well. He did really poor last week. Yeah, he got 9 points last week.
Yeah, so I mean, like I said, that's literally the reason I won. I beat Bruce last week 75 to 50. So
yeah. Which was just a shit show of a week for you two.
It was, but I'll take it. I'll take it.
You said I don't deserve this win, but I'll take it.
Yep, that's how I feel about most things in my life, honestly. But his running back core: James Conner, Mike Davis, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire, coming in total for 46 points. That's a solid showing. Altogether. I mean, you obviously want more out of your starter, which is RB1 was James Conner, who only got him 11 points. Fight me, James Conner is the worst running back in the league. I hate him. It makes me happy every time I see him injured. His wide receiver, Travis Fulgham, just stop. You had your time to shine. You're done. Just stop. His kicker, the MVP of the season, Young Hoku.
Really?
Just 13 to 20 points every game, but that's what you get when you play on the offense that can't do anything past the 40-yard line. So Atlanta is just garbage this year. And then he made a clutch play picking up Vikings against Dallas, but what the hell, Dallas coming out and just rocking such
Dallas
a high-powered offense.
I know, right? Dallas was something this week. That game really surprised me.
It did. It was fun to watch too. It was a good one.
It was a good game.
And like I said, Elliott finally showed back up. It just goes to show once they get a little bit of motivation, their defense actually has all their linebackers healthy now. So Sean Lee, Vander Esch, and DeMarcus Lawrence all back there really making a difference in that defense. So they were able to hold the strongest runner in the league, Dalvin Cook, to about 115 yards, which 100 yards is still fantastic, but when Dalvin Cook's putting up 200 and 250 yards a game against normal defenses and you're going against one of the worst defenses in the league at this point, holding them to 100 yards is phenomenal.
It's pretty damn good, yeah.
Yeah, so only getting them 3 points there, all combined for a 107.48. Bruce loses to Linden, a much-needed win by Linden, 118 to 107. So those are your matchups for the week. And we had, like I said, there's some division in the this is where we're kind of starting to see, again, there's still a lot of people right in that middle range. But we have Rogers still sitting at first place. I'm in second place. Then we have Brittany at 7-4. Then we have Daniel. Let's see here. Let's look at the
Daniel, Lyndon, Josiah, and Nathan all at 5 and 6.
Yep. And if you look at Daniel and Nathan, if you're judging it by points, Daniel is in the lead with 13-10. Then Josiah.
Yeah, Daniel's in fourth. Then Josiah. Then Lyndon, and then Nathan.
But look at the spread between Nathan and Lyndon's spread is only 3 points. 3 points between that slot.
It's tight there.
It definitely is, and it's going to be really important moving out of next week who wins and who loses, obviously. But if those two teams win, it's going to be tough because it's all going to depend on who scores more points next week. So now, if you look at it historically, Lyndon's going to have a tough time because any team that plays me for some reason has a dog shit week, and Lyndon plays me next week. So
let's see. Here's what I need to happen. I need Lyndon and Nathan both to lose. I play, like I said, I play Nathan next week. Yeah. If that happens, that's going to be good for me. And then I need to beat Brittany last week because as of right now, as it sits, Bruce is above me in 8th place and I'm in 9th. So I'm sitting right there on that cusp of just being eliminated. But if I can win out, if I can win the next 2 games, or if I can even win the next game and beat Nathan, I'll be right back in that running of that's just that mix of just like all those people together.
You guys all need me to beat Lyndon next week. Or let's just say you need me to beat Lyndon next week, and you need to win. If both those things happen, and then we'll see what the matchups are coming up. But if both those things happen, we have a chance. So we'll see. We'll see.
And Josiah and Daniel are playing. So
yeah, so a lot of the teams, like you just said, a lot of the teams that are playing the teams that they need to beat to get in. Mm-hmm. And I don't know who plays Josh this week, but good luck to you. Lucky you.
It's Bruce.
Bruce. Okay, well, look at that. Bruce right back in playoff contention.
Yep.
Man. Yep. So those are your official standings. Roger, Michael, Brittany, Daniel, Josiah, Lyndon, Nathan, Bruce, Ryan, and Josh. 1 through 10. Just a nice. I've never seen it so close in the middle of the year before, or at the end of the year before. So it's going to be really interesting to see who scrapes in. So, and I will say this, as just from my own personal perspective, I needed that win over Daniel because my team has not been strong enough to solidify a spot. If it came down to these, like if I was in that middle of the pack with you guys, I would lose because my team just is not putting up the points. I have 1,176 points. Every single person, almost the top 3 of those people, all have more points than me, and even Bruce has more points than that. You are only 80 points away.
I was gonna say I'm not that far away from you. Yeah, and point wise, it's just you've got a lot more wins than I have.
Yeah, so I played at people at the right time. That's all it was. So So those are the current standings. Those are the matchups last week. So let's get into looking at the like the waiver claims and the roster moves, stuff like that.
There's a lot going on.
Do you have that pulled up? Because if you could,
I have it pulled up. Yeah,
that'd be great if you want to take this section.
Okay, so let's see. Let's go back here. Did we cover your trade?
Yeah, let's do trades first. Let's cover those.
Okay, did we cover your trade with from Saturday? We didn't cover that. Saturday, you and Brittany traded.
Nope.
She traded you Darren Waller, and you traded Todd Gurley to her.
Yeah, I was honestly surprised that she took that trade too, because don't get me wrong, like tight ends, everyone's struggling with, but Brittany is just in this spot to where Carson and McCaffrey, you know, if any of those teams are going to be making playoffs runs, they're going to be holding on to them and getting them as healthy as possible. Mm-hmm. But our playoff run is later in the year, or earlier in the year, so we're experiencing mid-season shit from NFL, but it's the end of our season, so
exactly.
It's kind of tough. So she needed someone who was going to be able to put up a few numbers for her, and she has another tight end she can play that's going to get her some points. So
yeah, you're all over the trades this week, because then you also traded to Roger. You traded Tua and CeeDee Lamb for Cole Beasley and Justin Herbert, which fuck you for getting Herbert, because I tried to trade for Herbert last week for Roger, and he was being a bitch about it. So,
I mean, I don't really understand this trade either, because whenever I originally asked for Herbert, he said he wanted Julio Jones, and I was like, no, like this is not happening, you know?
Yeah.
So whenever we made us think about it, and then I offered him, I went out to the waivers, I picked up Tua just to have a backup, and then I picked up CeeDee Lamb after a strong showing in Dallas, and then Roger took him. So it literally cost me nothing to get Herbert, and now I have a strong wide receiver to quarterback connection because Keenan Allen has been clutch. So I was really happy about that.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that trade. I'm gonna be real, not just because I wanted Herbert, but mostly because I know it. Like you're ahead of me regardless, but in point wise, you said we're only spread about 80 points apart. That's just gonna be big for you, because now you've got like you said, you've got that quarterback wide receiver connection there, and that's just gonna help you exponentially getting those points. If you play Herbert and Keenan Allen, you're gonna be getting all those points there.
Yeah.
So not a fan of that trade, but that one happened. Then again with you traded to Linden Hunter Henry for Robert Woods. So that's another trade that you're just all over the fucking trades this week, man.
I just acquired Hunter Henry 2-3 weeks ago. I play him 2 weeks in a row. He gets his first touchdowns of the season 2 weeks in a row. He's building a rapport with the quarterback. And, you know, now getting Herbert, it might be dumb for me to get rid of him, but at the same time, I just acquired the second best tight end in the league after George Kittle went out. So I'm more confident in Waller, who has many more points per game than I am in Henry. And Linden needs a tight end to stay in contention. So he has a strong wide receiver core, so it just made sense. I feel like my team got a lot stronger over this past week.
I definitely agree with that. And then finally, the last trade we've got that happened yesterday, we had Nathan. Sorry, I was trying to figure out who Heimer Schmidt was for a second. I forgot that was Nathan. We have Nathan trading with Daniel. Nathan traded Darrell Henderson Jr. and Rob Gronkowski for DJ Chark and Chase Edmonds, which is God dang it, that's a good trade for Nathan. And so now fuck.
Ryan, realizing what happened.
I just realized as I'm reading this that's not good for me.
It's okay. You'll be fine. I'll make another motivational video for you if I need to.
Okay, great. You know what I need? I need a defense, because Miami, I mean, they could do well, but like still, I got -1 points. I traded you the Colts last week. So I need a better defense, and I've got no trade bait. That's the issue.
You can stream defenses. There's good stuff out there. Just play the matchups. Yeah. Look at the green and red, and you'll be fine. But,
so that's all the trades for this week. So now we'll talk waiver pickups.
Yeah, we'll just roll through these real quick.
Yeah. So let's see. Nathan dropped Rex Burkhead. Lyndon dropped DK Dobbins. And then he also dropped the Cardinals defense. Brittany added Austin Hooper and dropped Malcolm Brown. Roger dropped Joshua Kelly and added David Montgomery. Lyndon dropped Duke Johnson, which is a good choice there, and added Raheem Mostert.
That's a clutch play. A lot of people overlooked that, but Raheem Mostert, because he's still on IR, it's suspected he's going to be reactivated this week. And Raheem Mostert was a solid 15 to 20 point running back.
There you go. Daniel dropped Austin Eckler. I'm not sure how you're supposed to say his last name. I'm sorry. He added him and dropped Alexander Madison.
Interesting. Maybe Eckler's going to get reactivated. That might be a big play for Daniel end of the year if he is.
Yeah. You added Tim Patrick. And let's see. Nathan then added the Browns defense, which got a lot of points 20 points last week. So I don't know if they're going to do that same thing again this week, but again, screw you, Nathan. Daniel dropped Joe Burrow and added Derek Carr. Josiah dropped Cam Newton and picked up Robert Tonyan. I don't know why he would pick him up. He's had he had one really high peak and then has been kind of meh.
Well, I think he just needs someone because remember Josiah had George Kittle, one of the best tight ends in the league, and now he's having to stream tight ends because he's at the bottom of the barrel. So, and Tonyan has potential,
He does have potential, yeah.
But now that Devontae Adams is back, he's not even looking at Tonyan. So,
and then lastly, Daniel dropped the Chargers defense. So,
yep, that's a good call, especially since they're playing the Bills this week. So,
yep. So that is your waiver pickups and your trade for this week.
Yep. So one thing we'll talk about right before we get into, I know I already mentioned it, but as far as the league trash talk, I know we don't touch on it a lot. Nathan decided on the 22nd, which was the Sunday after the game, that he would rub it in my face that Ezekiel Elliott and Michael Thomas were amazing, and I did not like that very much. I think the only other thing really worth mentioning was the video that was made. I took about 4 or 5 hours out of my day, messaged everyone in the league to band together to make a video encouraging Ryan. They all said, you can beat him, you can do it. It's, you just beat his ass. Particularly Lyndon said, just beat his ass, bitch.
Beat his ass, yeah.
Josiah, classic Josiah fashion, said he didn't care. But we put it all in a video. We added the motivational speech from We Are Marshall and did some cool transitions and overlays and get fucked Roger, like all kinds of fun stuff, and jammed it into a video. And it's on YouTube, not because I wanted it to be on YouTube, but because that was the only way I could publish it and share it. So deal with it.
It is
if you're
out
mad
there
about it. But yeah, that was about the league trash talk. Obviously, there's all kinds of trash talk that goes on. A lot of it we probably can't say on the air, but
I've made a. I'm in the process of making a response video to that. So that'll be out. I need to film the end of that today, but that'll be out hopefully today. I'm gonna post that on my TikTok. I know you all hate TikTok, but
as long as you share the TikTok so I can see it, that's fine.
I'll share it to the league Discord. Yeah.
Follow at Ryan Turner, whatever your thing is, to see it whenever it posts.
It's not at Ryan Turner on TikTok.
Okay, whatever.
Okay. Shush. Stop. No, bad. It's at Ryan Turner _ on TikTok.
Oh,
thank you.
My bad. I forgot the underscore.
Honestly, I forgot what my name was on TikTok.
Okay, so you know what? Let's get into the matchups this week, and then we'll get out of here because everyone's got Thanksgiving that they're going to. So let's let them get back to it. So no, we're just going to start right off the bat with the game that I want to be a repeat of the previous week. We have, or I should say the previous time they played, we have Roger versus Brittany. If you remember, Brittany was the only team to come out on top against Roger, and she beat the poo out of him. So we need that to happen again. Brittany also needs this to happen again.
She does, but here's the issue, though. Granted, she's got 2 empty spots on her team right now, but as of right now, she's projected to lose heavily. When she fills those spots. But at the same time, too, I don't know what she's going to fill him with because is McCaffrey still out?
So McCaffrey is doubtful, so he likely will not play.
She could put Todd Gurley in there, but Todd Gurley is going to be
Todd Gurley will probably be okay against Vegas, but the big thing for her is that Chris Carson is projected to return.
Okay, there you go.
So that's a big win for her. Now, what hurts her is Adam Thielen being out. That sucks. So what the nice part about this is she has John Brown, who's questionable. So as long as he plays, he's a good play there. Or sliding Jamison Crowder up and playing Wayne Gallman, since he's going to be playing again this week. He's been awesome so far. They have a good matchup in Cincinnati. Playing Wayne Gallman there. Chris Carson, Wayne Gallman, Todd Gurley. That's your 2 running backs and your flex. And then assuming Terry McLaurin plays, playing Terry McLaurin, John Brown, or T. Higgins. Any one of those. Hopefully they can come in clutch for you. Don't like the T. Higgins play with a backup quarterback in there, so I would avoid that if possible, but he is the only healthy wide receiver she has. Her other 4 are questionable or out. So she may end up having to play him. Other than Jamison Crowder, he could come up. But anyone on the Jets is questionable. So, but Pat Mahomes is looking to have. I bet it's a shootout in that game.
In Tampa Bay.
I bet Pat Mahomes is going to have a great game against Tampa Bay. It's a strong defense, but it's Pat Mahomes. He's gonna do well. We need to see Kyler Murray not play because he is questionable. As of right now, it says that he's recovering from the joint injury. They're not expected to sideline him, but there is a potential. So worst case scenario, what could happen is he comes out and with the shoulder thing for a QB, that's huge. He might not play as many reps. They might sit him. They might run the ball a lot. They might. So look for that to cause an issue. And if you're out there and you're looking to play a running back, it might be a good idea to play the Arizona running backs this week because Kyler Murray might not be in the mood to throw it a million times like he normally does. So if that's the case, that does not bode well for DeAndre Hopkins if he's not throwing the ball as much. So look for Rodgers, Kyler Murray, DeAndre Hopkins connection to suffer this week, assuming Kyler Murray doesn't play as well as he normally does with that injury. But again, it could be a wash. It could just be, a tell. Teams do that. They tell people that they're injured because it's a legitimate injury, but they're not honest up to the point, because they don't have to be, about when the recovery is, because that makes it hard for the other team to plan. So we might just not have all the information there. So, however, Cooper Kupp versus San Francisco, always good games between division rivals, and San Francisco's a tough defense. Travis Kelce versus another tough defense at Tampa Bay. Kansas City, another tough defense. So Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce might struggle this week. I don't like Rodgers' defense against Pittsburgh. The Ravens versus Pittsburgh, those are division games, so they're going to be tough anyway. Rodgers' matchups this week are just crap. So the only one I like is Alvin Kamara at Denver. I think they're going to win, but I don't think it's going to be at the hands of Kamara because their defensive line is pretty good. So if Brittany has healthy players, I think she can pull it off.
I think she can if her players come back healthy and they come back strong. It's just, that big if they can come back and do that.
Yep.
So
and she does need this win, because at this point she is now struggling to get in. Because if she loses out and some of the other players win up, she's out. She is out.
She is.
So let's hope that Brittany pulls this out. But my projection for this, I want to be hopeful. I want you guys all need Brittany to lose this. Keep that in mind. Every other team needs Brittany to lose if they want to have a hope, because Brittany is now in the process of securing that third slot. If she wins this, she secures. So you guys all need her to lose, but I am going to take her to win, because I do not like Rodgers' matchups this week, and I hope Kyler Murray struggles at throwing, because I want him to be in pain. So not Kyler Murray. I want Roger to be in pain, like emotional pain.
Okay.
So
fuck. You're right. It's just Brittany's got too many questionables up in the air. Roger has tough matchups, yes. I would love to see Brittany win just because it's Roger, but you're right. I need Roger to win this one just for my sake. Oh, man. I'm gonna pick Roger on this one.
Okay.
Just because I'm hopeful. As much as I don't want to see Roger keep winning, I mean, there's really no chance at this point. He's number one in the league. I lost to him last week, although I had a chance to beat him. I'm probably not going to be playing him in the finals for like the championship or anything. So
I'm willing.
I'm
willing to take the I didn't pick right, quote unquote, just to see Brittany win. So
yeah,
it may be right. That would feel good.
So I'm gonna pick Roger on this one.
Okay. So one for Roger, one for Brittany. Let us keep moving down the line. Let's go into the bye week for Bruce. Maybe we'll
potentially.
See.
The projections are close right now.
They are. They're very close. So we have Bruce versus Josh. If ever there was a time for Josh to step up and make someone's life a living hell, it would be this week.
I need this to happen, Bruce. Josh, I need you to beat Bruce.
If Josh can beat Bruce, Bruce will be eliminated from playoff contention here. So, however, you have Russell Wilson on Bruce's team. Russell Wilson playing Philadelphia. It's a great defense, or I should say a good defense. So there's that. James Conner against Baltimore. Don't like that matchup. Mike Davis versus Minnesota. He should be good, assuming McCaffrey doesn't play, and he's not expected to. Chris Godwin, I think he'll have a good game. And we'll probably see Allen Robinson come back this week into the wide receiver slot.
Yeah.
He's not going to play Fulgham after that showing. He will probably end up playing Ebron, although Ebron hasn't been strong after the 0 point letdown that Hawkinson had last week with Detroit. Hilaire came back clutch for him last week. There's no reason he wouldn't play him this week. And then the Giants defense, I'm not sure what he's doing with that. The Giants defense, I don't know why that's ever been a good play. So he's just going to need to stream that defense and get someone else in there. But Josh over here, I think Lamar Jackson could have a big game against Pittsburgh. But I think the play for Josh here is to play Carlos Hyde, because even if Carson's back, I think Carlos Hyde would be the better play because he's not going to get all the reps. I would probably put Calvin Ridley back in with Juju Smith-Schuster being questionable, or at least put him back in the flex. I just don't like his starting lineup up here. I would play Calvin Ridley and maybe even T.Y. Hilton over Amari Cooper, and I don't know. Yeah, I don't like Jared Cook. I'd put Dalton Schultz in. I think Schultz scored a touchdown this past week too. So who knows? Dallas is on Thanksgiving this week. They play on Thanksgiving Day like they always do, and they play Washington, who's a decent defense. I don't know. I just think I would really like to see Josh. You know what? I'm taking the underdogs this week. I don't care if I'm right or wrong. I'm taking Josh to win this one.
Oh no, I'm definitely picking Josh over this one too.
Let me say this before you're on. I'm going to take Josh if he cares about his lineup, because I'm worried that Josh may have just forgotten about the league, and because he's eliminated from everything at this point. He's not tanking. He's barely paying attention to his team potentially. So I'm taking Josh with the understanding that he starts the right players.
Well, someone needs to text this boy to start his team correctly, because I need Josh to beat Bruce.
You do,
because Bruce is ahead of me. We have the same record right now, but he does have more points than I have. But I need Bruce to beat Josh. I need Josh to beat Bruce, just so Bruce can be knocked out. Because if Josh beats Bruce and then I win my matchup, that helps me exponentially.
It does. So you're taking Josh then?
I'm taking Josh, yeah.
Hey, Josh and Josh. Josh finished the league with at least 3 wins. You got
Eat
this.
your Pop-Tarts, set your lineup, and beat
Get
Bruce.
your Burger King and beat Bruce.
Yep.
And then Bruce just, for the sake of the podcast, just keep listening to Matthew Berry. Just keep on keeping on.
Just leave that wide receiver slot empty, Bruce. Perhaps, take out Young Wei Koo. So
yeah, your strongest player, take him out. Mm-hmm. All right, let's move on down the list here. We're both taking Josh for that one. Let's go to the next game, which is this is probably one of the most important games of the week here.
This is a big game this week.
Unsolicited Chubb picks, Josiah versus Hover Round Genocide, Daniel. We have look at the projections.
I see that. It's 0.3 off.
116.6 to 116.9. So this game is going to boil down to, calling it now, how well Tom Brady can hold up against Kansas City. Mm-hmm. If he can have that 30-point game, I think Daniel might be able to take this, because I think Josh Allen, while he is fantastic, he has the potential to score 30-some points. I think the Chargers offense could clutch and hold Josh Allen and the Bills. I really do. If they can get shut out by the Jets, if they can get shut out by some of the other teams that have really put a stomping on them, I think that the Chargers can hold them too. So I think this is going to be a quarterback showdown. I don't think Steelers are going to be able to. The defense is going to be a good play against Baltimore. I hope it is, because as much as I don't like the Steelers, I hate Baltimore even more. I think Nick Chubb will be big for Josiah this week. I think that Miles Sanders will have a good week against Seattle. I just don't think that team has a good defense at all. And then obviously Derrick Henry is probably going to struggle against an Indiana defense. So I think all that bodes well for Daniel, especially the defense and Derrick Henry. And then I also, however, with Dalvin Cook playing Carolina, Aaron Jones playing Chicago, I don't like that matchup. Aaron Jones in Chicago, that's not a good one. DK Metcalf probably going to have a good game. I don't know what the deal with Hayden Hurst in his lineup is still.
Yeah, he needs to put Jonnu Smith up in there.
He does. And Daniel's defense, Saints versus Denver, that's big. And then his kicker. I mean, I just think Daniel has the better matchup here. I really do. And like I said, I'd probably play Jonnu Smith any day over
Hayden Hurst.
Yeah, for sure. And like I said,
I will say, Josiah, though, does have Mike Gesicki as a tight end against the Jets. So, I mean, that could be big.
It could, but that's a division game. Division games are always harder.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the Bills. Bills are one of the highest powered offenses in the league, and the Jets held the Bills to 0 touchdowns. The Bills still won, but because they kicked 5 field goals.
Yeah, you're right.
So it could be the same way that way. Division games are always tough, and Josiah's got a couple this week. So we'll see.
It doesn't matter to me who wins here, because either way, these two are the same record. It's going to keep me in the same position regardless of who wins.
You need whoever has the higher points total to win or to lose, because you need to be able to. And then they both have high points. So
I need Daniel to lose then.
Okay. Yeah.
I need Josiah to win. So I need Tom Brady to be ass this week.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Daniel to win. So I think he can pull this out.
I'm gonna pick Josiah.
All right, there you have it. I take Daniel. Ryan takes Josiah. All right, let's jump on down. I'm just following the line here. The next game is one you desperately need to win, and currently projected to win. Ryan, the mayor of TD City, versus Nathan J. Jacobs Jingleheimer Schmidt. All right, boys. So Nathan's looking pretty strong this week. Just throwing it out there. I don't like Devin Singletary versus the Chargers. They got a Bosa on the other end of that line, and that does not bode well for any running back. We have Michael Thomas versus Denver. That's a really bad matchup, that's a great matchup for Nathan. So I could see that going really well, because the Taysom Hill Michael Thomas connection last week was pretty strong. Mm-hmm. The Browns defense versus Jacksonville, I think they'll be great. Browns defense came in clutch last week with 17 points. So, and the wide receiver core I don't like. I do not like Brandon Cooks. I do not like DJ Moore, although they're both great. I just don't really care for either of those. They're not any players that I really know all that well either. So but we never know. He might start Mike Evans in there. He might play Gronkowski instead of Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews has been great, but it's also a division game, and Mark Andrews is questionable. So, and on the other side, like I said, I like the Arizona running backs this week. So I think the Kenyon Drake pickup could be nice as long as Chase Edmonds doesn't steal all the plays. I'm not sure how I feel about Kenyon Balaj versus Buffalo.
I don't really have much other option for running back 2.
You don't, and that's okay. But I like Miami's defense versus the Jets. I like Dallas Goedert versus Seattle secondary. And honestly, I like Marvin Jones Jr. I don't know what's going on or what happened last week. I did not watch the Detroit game, but I would expect to see them try to rally from that. Mm-hmm. So I think
also Deebo Samuel's questionable now. He's finally back into being questionable instead of just being out. So there's that as well.
Might be worth playing him if they go. It's a division game against the Rams, so he might have a good showing. So and obviously Devontae Adams. So you need to win here. This is a win or lose situation.
Absolutely, I have to win this game or else I'm out.
So you need Aaron Rodgers to suck a fat one this week, and I think that's gonna be the deciding factor. And you need to watch your quarterback closely because you don't have anyone else and he's questionable. So,
yep.
Might be worth grabbing someone off waivers just in case. But
I probably will.
As of right now, you're projected to win. I am going to take Nathan to win this one, unfortunately. It's not that I don't have faith in your team. I just think that he's going to have a fantastic week. So I think Ezekiel Elliott came out with a point to prove last week, and he's going in newly motivated on Thanksgiving. They always play harder on these holiday games against a team that they know well. I could be wrong, and I hope I'm wrong because I want you to win. But I'm going to take Nathan.
Nah, Elliott's he's gonna suck ass again. Michael Thomas, he's also gonna only get a few points because he's not done well either this year. Aaron Rodgers is gonna break his ankle in the second quarter and go out. So I'm taking me all day, baby.
I hope all of that is true, especially Aaron Rodgers breaking his ankle. I don't like Aaron Rodgers at all. So
Matt Prater's going to get negative 3 points this game.
Well, he got -1 last week, so it might happen. All right, so you're taking yourself. I'm taking Nathan, and we will move on. The last game of the week, one that doesn't necessarily matter from my standpoint. I've already made it into the playoffs. However, if I can do my part and make it easier for everyone else needs Linden to lose this game. It is the chosen one, me, versus Pop It and Lock It Linden. Currently, I am projected to win 120.7 to 111.7. But as we all know, Matt Ryan is a choke artist, so that projection is more like 100 to 111.7. So looking at this, I really do like my matchups this week. I have a couple. I have a couple players that I'm worried about. So Josh Jacobs versus Atlanta kind of scares me. And then Antonio Gibson versus Dallas. My running back core actually just scares me in general because Atlanta has a really good line. They suck at passing defense, but they have a really good line. And so does so does Dallas, especially now that, like I said, they have DeMarcus Lawrence and Sean Lee and Vander Esch in there. It's going to be tough for Antonio Gibson to be productive, I think. I'm definitely going to start Herbert next week. I was
going to say, you're starting Herbert over Ryan, so.
Yeah, and that'll hopefully, the Bills are one of the stronger teams that the Chargers have played. So it's going to probably be tougher for Keenan Allen to get those 20 points that I need from him, but I still think he'll be fine because that's his main target is Keenan Allen. So I love the Darren Waller versus Atlanta play. I think that'll be great. And then the Gina Vardy and Bernard, I think is going to be fine. But I think against the Giants he'll be fine. I like the Colts versus Tennessee. They played them last time and they got 12 points. So, but I also have Washington versus Dallas. So I'm still up in the air who I'm going to play there. But both the projections are around the same. And then Linden. Actually, it looks like he's going to be starting Deshaun Watson again, which I like that versus Detroit. I think that's a good play. Scares me because he might put up another 35, 40 points. Kareem Hunt versus Jacksonville's clutch, except now with Nick Chubb back, it's not as clutch of a play as it used to be. So scraping the barrel a little bit with Damian Harris, although he's had some good games. So the wide receiver core has the potential to beat the ever-living shit out of me. Tyler Lockett and Stephon Diggs. Between the two of those, there could potentially be 60 points. They're both just so good. Noah Fant doesn't scare me versus New Orleans. That's going to be a really tough matchup. And Will Fuller is scary most of the time, especially against Detroit. Could get lucky. I think the Rams defense might struggle a little bit against San Francisco. It's not a high-power offense, but it is a division game. And he will probably not have Noah Fant in. I would imagine he would probably play Hunter Henry there. So, especially,
I would assume so, yeah.
Playing Hunter Henry might be the smart move for him because any passes that my quarterback will throw to Hunter Henry will benefit him. So it might actually help counterbalance some of what I'm going to have going on. So, that being said, I know Linden really needs to win this game. Like I said, if I win, it's going to knock Linden out of playoff contention. So, I like Linden's matchups better than mine, personally. You know what? I'm going to take myself to win. And you all need me to win too, so.
Oh, yeah, I need you to win this game as well. That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of things hinging on other people losing this matchup or this week and me winning. So I need you to win. It's going to be close, though, because I do like Linden's matchups. And I do like some of his players.
Yeah.
I think he has a chance. However, if, records or anything has to stand for what it is, Linden's going to do something to mess up.
I think his running back core is the weak part this week, but I think what he has going for him is that my running back core matchups are crap too. So I think that you're going to see a weak showing from the running backs on both sides this week, and I think where he's going to come in clutch is the plays in the wide receiver core. I think mine are solid. However, I think his are just going to be better, and I think that's going to be the deciding factor this week.
Yeah, I'm still going to take you though over Linden. So.
Okay. All right. Well, there you have it. We both choose me over Linden, but again, you all need me to win, so it doesn't. Since I've already clutched, so we will see how it goes.
Maybe I should have picked Linden. That way, you would win.
Well, yeah. If you're anything like Daniel, picking me to win is definitely the surefire way to make me lose, or other way around. Picking me to lose is a surefire way to make me win. So, okay. Well, there you have it. We are gonna sign off and wish everyone a very happy Thanksgiving. And moving into the holidays, everyone stay safe, stay well, and everyone root for me to keep winning. And suck it, Daniel. Can we at least agree on that?
All right, suck it, Daniel.
He wasn't here to record because, he's lazy, but really it's because he was traveling. But I'm going to blame it on him being lazy. So, suck it, Daniel. Lazy piece of shit. So, until next time, everyone, have a happy Thanksgiving, and we'll see you next week when we review who the real winners and losers of the league are. Next week, you're really going to see that there's going to be
a lot going on. Yeah,
there's going to be some people eliminated next week. So we'll be back next week to fill you in on who's in and who's out. So until next time, have a good one. Eat lots of turkey. Don't die.